So welcome to Harry, Larry and Jason from gatheringheritage.com. This week we're going to talk about pictures around about the town centre and the square. So hello to Harry and Larry.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead, you say it before me, Larry. Go ahead. Oh, yes, indeed. We are now talking about my part of the town, because I never went further down than this. Now, the Central Bar, and I think after that was Benny Brady's, I think, wasn't it, Larry?
It was indeed, yeah. And it was a favourite place for a lot of people with music in it and the cleaners beside it.
Yeah. Yeah, they were a Dublin crowd, of course, and huge crowd. They were there for years and years. Next door to that, though, HF and J McCann. Now, the HF and J, I think, were three brothers, weren't they? As far as I know.
I'm not sure on that, Harry.
Yeah, it was a beautiful. They had a shop down in Church Street as well, and they had one up in Park Street. As well, beside Russell's at one time, and they sold buns and cakes and bread and everything. Jason, you're keeping very quiet there. You obviously don't know anything at all about
I
these
do.
days.
I'm letting the two experts speak, but a couple of things catch my eye. One is the McCardle sign, because I'm an ex-McCardle's employee, so
yeah,
it's rare enough you see signs like that. These were kind of the modern 70s and 80s style signs. There was older McCardle signs that were actually plaster cornices that were above some of the buildings, but this is a standout one. I don't know if that says double diamond or not, but it certainly says McCardle's. I love the way there's some embossed glass here. I like that. Now that's his lounge. But up here on the right-hand side, Harry, at the top of the building, this McCann's handwritten sign. That's a lovely sign there.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. They were a very, very well thought of family. They were a local family, of course, and very, very well thought of. Now, further up, actually, we can't cover it that way with this photograph, but I will just tell you the other shops going up from that I can remember. Burton's Men's Clothes Shop, they were an English company. Do you remember them, Larry?
I do indeed, yeah.
Yeah. A man called Fitzgibbons was the manager, a real cool dude with a wee mustache and everything. Yeah. And then Jimmy Baxter had a grocery shop further up. Okay. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember it.
Yeah,
no,
he did. Yeah, and of course Donald McCardle had one further up than that. Donald did along for a booking and that for the town hall, and we just haven't got a photograph, unfortunately, of the top end of it.
Let's step through these and see what we do have. We'll go on to the next one.
Yeah, so you're right. Okay, yeah.
So where are we now?
Oh yeah, this is a lovely view here, actually, and I think they just call it the Market Square. Yeah. And it starts, of course, with we don't see it in that particular spot clip, but McGill Travels was up to the left there. But we can talk about the other ones down there. Now, Wallace's was a seed shop, and Larry, it was famous for somebody that worked in it for years and years.
Patsy McKeown.
Patsy McKeown, yeah.
A wonderful footballer.
Oh, and one of the few amateurs that played with Dundalk. Never wanted money. He just loved what he was doing. A great player. And Mrs. Wallace, actually, when the husband died, she took over running it with Patsy. But great memories there. Move on to the Northern Bank. Now, the Northern Bank, I think they moved from there up to Earl Street, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. Now, just moving down a little bit, you see that sign Gael Inn?
Yeah.
That's an Irish sign, Gaelinn, and it was just a tiny little office, because Gael Inn at that time had something like the lotto going. Do you remember that, Larry?
I do indeed, yeah.
They sold scratch cards or something, wasn't it?
Scratch cards, yeah.
Yeah, and that was their wee office there. Now, next to it is a very, very well-known McDonald's butcher shop, And Paddy, actually, Lord of Mercy, was a great man. He was drove the ambulances in Dundalk for years when he wasn't working. And Morris is still around, of course. Now, I don't know, excuse me, the name of the chemist shop. I can't remember that. Can you,
I
Laurie?
can't make it out.
No, I can't.
Is it just from here to here, Harry?
Yes,
or was
yes,
it the whole length?
yeah.
Just from there to
No,
there?
no. That's the first one there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see nothing, only chemist.
Yeah.
Now the next one, it was a very unusual shop. It was a children's clothes shop, and it was one of the most expensive shop you could have, but everyone loved it. And it was a lady called Mairead, that's the name that's over the door.
Right, okay.
And she was married to a man called Paddy Barry from the town, and she did an absolute roaring trade in that. Now, next to that was Paddy Goodman's The Butchers. And Paddy is still alive. They came from Ann Street across from the Dominican Hall.
Right.
And the one at the end then was Carol's, and it was a sweet shop and cigarettes and stuff. But that was a great corner there. There's a lady sweeping the floor there. But because that was the place that you met your girlfriend for the first time, maybe when you were going to the Adelphi, which was just across the road, of course.
Adelphi was just up there, right.
Yeah, now here's a little touch here, the wee mini car, of course, which were very popular around that time. And this bus, can we go back to the bus there, Jason, on the right-hand side? Yeah. And it is coming round a corner, and it is going up to the bus station. Now, the bus station, I think, is on the next clip. So just go to the next clip, Jason. Yeah. And this is where the bus just pulls in. And you look at the size of the wee, you can see the Adelphi there, which we'll talk about later on.
Yeah.
But do you remember, Larry, the buses there where the park was into the right of that building? There was a huge, it used to be where the market house was. And the bus is always parked in there.
I do remember that, surely, yeah.
So in here, Harry, was it?
Into the right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was where the market house was.
That bus station looks quite small.
It was, what you see, it did nothing, only it was more like a place with the boys having a cup of tea.
Right.
I think that's what it was, but it was very thick.
They moved from there down to the Long Walk.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, and then they discovered it was too small, so they moved to the other side of the road.
That's right.
Brilliant piece of engineering. Okay, we'll go to the next one, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Now, where are we now? Oh, yeah, this is my favorite thing. As a matter of fact, this is one of my favorite little tips from all of the town. This really shows you what Dundalk was like a way, way back. Now, this photograph was taken when, Larry? In the 70s, was it?
It possibly was 60s, I would think.
60, yeah. Now, we can make out most of them. On the left-hand side there, you can see Donald McCardle's. Now, Donald then moved across the road. I mentioned him already to where he had a shop there that did all the booking for the town hall and that. He ran it with his father in that wee shop there, did a roaring business. Now, I'm trying to make out the name. It seems to be Light. Something Light, Direct Light or something. I don't know what it is.
Electray. That shop?
Yeah, it's just hard to make it out. But the next one, the arcade, and I think that was just a little shop that they did ornaments and stuff like that. Could be wrong. I hope somebody would confirm that for me.
Yeah.
Now, there is between phase next is cigarettes, of course. Larry, I'm sure you remember that.
I remember it, right? I never smoked, but
yeah, but it was because the main thing was, do you see the Players Please sign?
Yeah,
that was that was the extension that they built back there between the arcade and phase, and the others have no extension, as you can see. They're just small little shops. Now behind that originally was where the market square was.
Okay.
Or sorry, the market house was.
Yeah.
And what a shame that that was knocked down. I just found out yesterday it was knocked down, demolished in 1968.
Right.
And it was an awful pity, but however, it was a sign of the time. Now, the second last shop there is McAllister's Pork Butchers. Now, that wouldn't have been your end of the town, Larry.
No, that at the square would be everybody's.
But you wouldn't buy your sausages, your pork sausages there.
Harry, what I find interesting is there's a pork butcher's here, and there's two butchers over there.
Yes.
You know,
but there were meat. These are pork.
Which is not all the same.
Not at all. In those days, you were a pork butcher. No, you were. Oh God! Yes.
Chalk and cheese.
Look at. But they were a great firm. They had a shop in Park Street, which we mentioned before when we were doing Park Street. Now, the next shop there is another fruit shop, and it is Donnelly's. Now, it is nothing got to do business-wise with Joey Donnelly, which is down in Church Street. Mm-hmm. Not quite sure whether they're relatives or not, but they had another shop up beside Rogers's Garage up in Park Street. Okay. And going up by Dublin Street there, a small little shop there. But I think the man that owned that lived in the Carrick Road. Okay. But isn't it a lovely little display of old Dundalk there?
It is. Harry, just a question. Something that catches my eye over here is McGuill's.
Yes.
Yeah, but it says bar. It says McGuill's Bar.
Oh, yeah, they had a bar. Yeah, they had a bar. Yeah, there's actually... No, what do we see now? Yeah,
actually, yes, Harry. I know why I remember this, because above McGuill's there's a McCardle's sign that I was talking about earlier. It's one of the ones that is plastered into the wall, and it's one of the circular ones. So it obviously must have been a bar before it was a tavern.
It was actually, yeah. And Jason, I've just missed something there too. We can't go back to it now, but further down, before you get to Wallace's, where Timmy Cohn walked, you can go upstairs there, and you know what was upstairs was a bookie's office.
Bookies?
A man called Paul Bourne, and he had turf accounting written down in the sign downstairs. Do you remember that? Okay. But anyway,
Let's move on.
We can move on from there. Yeah, this is a lovely, lovely photograph here, and when you enlarge it, it's just absolutely beautiful. We mentioned, of course, before, Jason, the two telephone kiosks there.
Younger people looking at this would not recognize what they are, but this is back from the time where you used to have to make an arrangement that you were going to ring somebody and then put money in a phone box. This is what they look like.
But then, Jason, as you well know, they were destroyed with people. I'm not going to be. I don't want to be rude about it, but eventually, no one would go in next or near them. You hadn't them down in your way, had you, at all, Larry?
Yeah, there was one in Church Street, and there was several.
Yeah, we saw that one, didn't we, in Church Street?
We did on the previous photograph. They're a lovely piece of nostalgia. It's a pity they're not around, and I know that some of them that are preserved down the country, they're turning them into mini libraries. So you go in there and you pick up a book on your walk, and then you keep going.
Do you know what strikes me about that? If you go over to where the Ulster Bank is, and down to where the Emer is, and there was a restaurant there. I can't remember that. Can you, Larry?
Was it the Emo?
Yeah. I never. Was that at the front, and then the bars at the back? There's a sign over the car there, which is where the entrance to the bar was.
Oh, I see it.
You see it there. But we talk about being shortage of houses. Jason, come out a wee bit until you get a full view of it. Look at all them beautiful buildings over the shops, right down the whole way. Isn't it incredible?
It's amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, there was all people living in there. Fantastic.
Yeah, and look at me wee man in the middle of the road with his messenger boys bike. And I rode that one of them. We had them in Leeds, and you know the amazing thing about that? They're waiting on the traffic. Obviously, the traffic must be coming up that way or something.
So it looks like it's stopped.
Which is great. And all the girls, of course, wearing their mini skirts. That's when the mini skirts come out first. which
Very
we had
60s.
no interest in at all. Yeah, yeah.
All right, we better go on. We better move. Okay.
Come on, Larry, help me out here. Now, this is, we've already covered a couple of them shops there, and the row of shops is further up. I can't remember the whole lot of them, but the thing that strikes me about this is a lovely view coming up to the square. But look at me man on the bike here, going to knock down the photographer. Keep it going a wee bit there. Look. Oh,
Yeah.
good man
So
yourself.
this is from the opposite angle. So that previous photograph we were looking at was taken from around there, and it was taken in the 1970s. So this jumped forward now. This is 1984. The Emer is still there that you mentioned, Larry, earlier. And what's starting to happen now is there's a bit of demolition going on at the square here. So those shops are all gone now.
Yes, those shops are all gone. And you'll see that now in one of the other clips. Go to the next one, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what we're talking about here now. This now there you can see, Jason, there what you're saying about the bar. There's where I think where the bar was.
Yeah, the bar, that's a travel agent, so the bar and that McCardle sign is just above that there. But
yeah,
you were saying the Turf Accountants was here somewhere.
No, yeah. Do you see? Do you see?
Yeah.
There's that. Do you see? That's Turf Accountant. That yellow sign.
All right. Okay.
That's his Turf Accountant, and you went down the side, and you went up. No, sorry, you went in that door and up the stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now the thing that strikes me about this is the Ulster Bank.
Yeah.
That they did a huge job on that, didn't they?
On renovations here, yeah. It looks like there's major renovations going on. But just to remove those buildings must have been a really big undertaking. To get rid of all those little rows of shops. Doesn't seem like a great idea now, but I suppose it opened up the whole plaza of the square.
Yeah. And Larry, do you remember all of that? Paul Clancy designed this square. We didn't know what was going to happen because they knocked all of them wee shops and the Magnet House and everything. So, but it gives you a good idea there, the work that went into it.
Yeah, they actually renovated the square a few times, and on one occasion I thought it was very nice, and then what it is today is also nice in my opinion.
Okay,
well we will see another one of it when it's finished, which is here. Now it looks gorgeous from here, but an awful lot of people did not like. What was the, Jason? You said it was a nickname on them?
They were called the lollipops. These pillars.
Yes. Yeah.
The lollipops. The people didn't like them, and
and is that what you like, Larry?
No, I never liked it. I never liked them at all.
No, to me, I don't know what they were supposed to be.
I don't know what they represented at all.
I don't know what they represented, and when they were lit up, they weren't particularly nice. And the other thing was, they were just a hazard. People used to walk into them, especially
when you were drunk.
Yeah, coming off the buses at the square in the mid-80s. You know, they're very easy to walk into, you know.
Yeah, do you see where I'm pointing to there? Over across in the background there.
Yeah.
There. Yeah, down a wee bit to your left, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there. That's Stone and McCardle shop. That was one of the wee shops that was there. And that shop at 1955, that was owned by Late Shoes, and I went in there as a wee messenger boy, and that could have been me in the bike there you saw a few minutes ago.
All right. So they relocated the shop here, well, at least one of them, into that building. That's what you mean?
They relocated what?
The shop that was here into the building.
No, that shop was always there.
All right, okay.
It was, Melville's, it was here on the corner. It was a ladies' clothes shop.
Yeah. Okay.
An awful lot of women will know all the things about Melville's. But that's a lovely view, actually, there now of the square. It comes up well in that.
Yeah, let's keep going to the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Larry, this is your favourite.
Yes, we're going to leave this to Larry. Away you go, Larry.
Well, what can I say about it? It was one fabulous place for the cinema, and very luxurious and well run. great movies. The more to say about it.
Well,
it's missed.
Oh, yeah. And do you remember Willie English?
I do indeed, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about Willie English.
Well, I don't know much about him, that he was the, what do you call it? The bouncer.
He wouldn't like to be called a bouncer because he had this beautiful uniform on him and a peak cap and a coat with all gold and everything. Do you remember that, Larry?
I do indeed, but his job was really to keep order. And,
it was, yeah. And they had all the usherettes all had the green costumes on them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you remember them, Larry? You do, to be sure.
Yeah, I do. And they looked well. It looked the part when you went to the cinema. Very professional, and
there was something about it.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
Yeah, and there in the middle, of course, that circly bit was the restaurant, which was a beautiful restaurant, absolutely beautiful restaurant. And the one on the lounge, Joe Conlon, I think, worked in that for years, didn't he? Remember Joe, the whistling, the previous from Hill Street?
Joe Conlon worked in it, and I just want to go back on the cinema. It wasn't just movies. They showed they had concerts in it as well.
Yeah,
I had a few of them. Johnny McAvoy.
Yeah,
various others.
And there was that singer from Australia. There was a one-hit wonder. What do you call him? Rock and roll. You gave me all the best years of my life. He performed in there, and they used to actually have a cinema or a movie and a variety show. A man called Jack Cruz who used to travel around all over. Remember him?
I did. I wanted a show there. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them was on. I don't know which was on first, either the picture or the show, and it was a double bill. Brilliant.
My memories of it, Harry, is from the 1980s. I saw Star Wars there. I saw Superman there. I saw all the big blockbusters from E.T. I saw them all here, and I remember queuing up outside here. But it was a very sensory experience going in there because they had crushed velvet, and when you walked on it, and you could smell the sweets. There was a sweet shop just as you went in there, and then you walked all the way up the stairs and back, and then out into the foyer, and there was a two-tiered.
Wait a minute! Did you go on the balcony?
Oh, I went on the balcony, Harry. Yeah. It was a two-tiered cinema, and I remember sitting up at the back of the balcony watching Superman in that cinema. And when I came out of it, I thought I could fly.
And do you see the thing that's up there under the name Adelphi?
Yeah.
And they were down along the side of the wall, a different one, a theatre, the opening curtains.
Yeah, I think it's a Greek thing. I've seen. Yeah. I looked into it. This is a replica of a classic Greek
play or something.
Play. I'm glad they kept it. I'm glad it's still there.
Yeah.
And it's still to be seen today.
It keeps the memory alive of it. Yeah.
We'll keep going.
No, this to me is I can't make out it because the shops in the Domain, it's the main shopping centre, and they've changed so many times over the years, haven't they? I
can recognise a few of them, Harry. Max Sports was a sports shop, Max Sports, which was, in my view, was actually down here. It was Mac that used to play for Dundalk.
Tom McNulty,
yeah. He used to have a sports shop down there. I remember one of the very first video shops in Dundalk was here. So you'd leave your VHS tape back, and they'd charge you 50p if you hadn't rewound it. That probably seems so strange to anybody doing streaming. But there was kind of an opticians here as well for a while. Was it Levy's Opticians might have been here for a while too? But you're right, Harry. A lot of shops kind of came and went.
Yeah. But and it's still there. Owen Gray and a whole lot of them still hanging in there.
Funny,
yes,
you can see all the way down to the long walk from here, so they haven't really changed that.
It's a lovely view, and funny enough, I went up to town for a walk this morning. My from after I was cocooned or whatever they call it. And I saw this photograph before I went up, and I went up specially to see was those trees still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the ones on the right in front of the are all gone.
Gone. Yeah.
Which is an awful pity but it's a beautiful street.
Okay, let's keep going. Oh, here we go.
Now this is the St. Patrick's Hall is the official name of it, but we always called it, of course, the Magna. Yeah. Can you zoom? Take it up a wee bit bigger there, Jason, just if you can. And it's a beautiful building. Now you can see they're educating Rita, and that was who was in that? Oh God,
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yeah, that's right. Now do you see the wee sign there, cinema, on the left?
Yeah.
And there's a narrow, and it's kind of a circular narrow. You went round a corner here to go to the cinema.
Right.
There was offices and everything up here.
Okay, okay.
And there still are, actually.
Harry, why was it called the Magnet Cinema?
I don't know. Have you any idea, Larry?
I think it attracted a lot of people.
Okay.
Oh, he wins the €100. Yeah.
We keep going.
Well, yeah. But But Jason, just before you go,
can I back to that for half a second? Just a second.
I won't. Don't go back to it. But there's great stories about that, and I'd love to be able to talk, but we can't. Yeah.
Larry,
go ahead.
The top right-hand corner over at the top was a dance hall where all the youth groups and all that played there in the late 60s. And
upstairs.
There.
Yeah.
There. Okay. It probably had the capacity of about 50 with about 200 or 300 in it.
Really? Wow. And how did you get into Larry?
You went in the front door, upstairs, and some of the best bands like the Firing Squad, Division 5, JD's, the Other Things, and a few more.
It always struck me as a building that was out of place.
Yeah.
You know, it was out in its own. It wasn't. It didn't reflect the architecture of any of the buildings around.
Now,
it.
do you see, Jason? Just before we leave it, do you see the green on the right-hand side?
Yeah, yeah.
That was tennis courts. The Dundalk Tennis Club was there at one time.
Okay.
In our day.
We're moving on.
Okay.
Now, this one is Crow Street.
Yes, indeed. Now, Crow Street, of course, again, there's some shops that's still there. Devaney's, I see Devaney's there. Yeah, but starting at the right-hand side, Pat McGrath, I think Pat McGrath did sound systems. Would I be right saying that, Larry?
It looks like it.
Yeah, he did indeed. And he was probably one of the nicest men you could ever have running
He was a lovely, lovely fella. Yeah. Charlie Riley, of course, he did a great business in that, very, very well known.
Yeah.
Turf Accountant, I don't know who owned that one, but it's a bookie anyway. Yeah. Now, where was Mark McLaughlin's? Was that Mark McLaughlin's there with the white thing in the front of it?
That's correct, yeah.
That's Tolls now, Larry, yeah? Tolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when Mark McLaughlin, of course, was just absolutely wonderful, wonderful man. He was a traditional musician, and all the big acts of the country used to call in and have sessions and everything. Wonderful man, wasn't he, Larry?
Yeah, it wasn't a place I frequented too often. I was in it a few times. There was a lot of traditional musicians, and you'd never know who you'd see in it.
Yes, Yeah. Now, Devaney's, of course, I don't know, there's another shop there. I don't know whose that was. But Devaney's still there, of course. And Bernard's semi-retired now, of course. And the girls run the business now.
And this pub,
what was that?
That's a pub. I just can't think of the name of it at the minute.
Was that K. Mulligan's?
K. Mulligan's, yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Before they did, before they did it up. That was, of course, blown to pieces then in 1975. So these were taken before that. Yeah. Now there's another one there. I just can't get that one, but however, it's still a very good shopping center anyway. There's still plenty of shops in it.
And this is our last one.
Now this is there's a lovely view of this, and it just takes it in very nicely with, for instance, the over where Wallace Street, and other ones, of course, that we couldn't use. There was Francis Street and further down to the Century Bar, but we maybe do them again some other time. But the bar there where McGeo's was, and at this time was called the Condell. Now the name, how they got the name of the Condell was, there was a man called Noel Dillon, and there's where the dill comes in, Condell, and his wife's name was Conroy, so Condell. Condell.
There you go.
So there's and he did a great business with the town hall. Still McGeo's do, but he made all his money nearly out of the town hall. Now that was an insurance building next door to it. This was what year are you talking about here?
This is 84. It's 84.
Is it?
Yeah.
My shop should be there then.
Your shop probably is there, but it's obscured by the corner of this wall.
Would you move that? Tell me to move over a wee bit till we see it. And then the town hall, and look at it up at the very top, the public toilets. Now there is another toilet that we had a photograph of over in the main shopping centre, but these were filthy, rotten toilets. I mean, you couldn't go into them.
Oh, it was a different time.
That was good memories, yeah. And that was before the courthouse and everything was done up. Now, the one other thing just before we go, can you zoom in the poster that's on the pole there?
I can't see
the green. Yeah. No, it's a fellow with dark glasses.
I don't know if he's glasses, but it's that's a good one. I can't make that out, but that'll be a good one for people to leave a comment on our video. And please subscribe to the video channel. We have a YouTube channel for Gathering Heritage, and every time we upload a video, if you're a subscriber, you'll get notified.
So listen, that's our lot, I think, Jason, isn't it?
Yes, we're gonna wrap it up today. So thanks to Larry. Thanks to Harry, and you can watch a lot more videos, and we now have an interactive map on gatheringheritage.com with about 30 pins on it that will show you exactly what photograph or what video or what podcast was taken exactly on it. It's very interesting. You go to gatheringheritage.com and just click on the map. But thanks to the guys, and we'll leave you to it.
Okay, talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Harry and Jason.